TikTok is owned by the Chinese government. And we don't need the Chinese owning anything that 170 million Americans use. So I just don't feel, and what I don't get is someone who doesn't use TikTok, they're just videos. Somebody couldn't come up with some, I know there's this algorithm, but it's the same people could put it on some other platform and it seemed like it'd be just the same deal. So I admit I don't know everything about it, but I don't see why we need a Chinese-owned platform with all this data on Americans.
So do you agree with the TikTok ban?
No, I don't.
Why?
I think it's a really valuable service for people. It's entertainment. It's also got a lot of information on TikTok. I love it. I use it all the time.
What about the argument that the Chinese are stealing your data?
That's BS. We know that's not true.
Well, even if they steal it, everybody has our information already.
There you go.
And some people have said to me that they're worried about children using TikTok. The algorithm's really bad, brain
No.
rot and things like
I
that.
disagree totally, completely.
Well, I'm just going to go with anything on the internet, parental controls are what matter, not what's on the internet.
True. She's right.
And would you let your children have TikTok and everything?
I don't know. I have my children are all older and grown. I don't know about my grandchildren. I think you'd have to use parental controls like Trish says.
Do you agree with the TikTok ban?
No,
Why?
because I think it's censoring free speech. I think it's a government overreach. I think it's intentional. It's not about national security.
Some people say China's stealing our data. What do you think about that?
The US is stealing our data too. Yeah, it doesn't affect me. It depends what data you give them.
And what about the argument that TikTok is corrupting children and that the algorithm's really bad and they're seeing pornography and things?
They can find that elsewhere on the internet. That's a place for their parents to decide what's right for their children, but to enact a blanket censorship on TikTok because of that, there's other ways that they have access to that sort of information and resources.
And do you have TikTok?
Yes.
Are you addicted?
I'm sure. A little bit. Aren't we all?
Are you going to miss it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe I'll get better sleep now that I'm not up till 3 a.m., but yes.
I don't think it should be banned. I think people should have a right to use whatever platform. I know there are risks, that's why I personally don't use it, but if you want to use it, that's your choice.
And what about the argument that China is stealing Americans' data?
I think that's true. I think that's true. You take that risk when you use TikTok. That's why I personally don't use it.
So it's a freedom issue.
It's a freedom issue, yeah, absolutely.
And what about the argument that TikTok is corrupting children and it shows them bad things and pornography and things?
No, I mean, you can find pornography in a million other places than TikTok. I've never seen anything other than actually silly things on TikTok. People dancing or singing, stuff like that.
And would you let your children have TikTok? Or kids?
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to. Again, I'd warn them about the Chinese issue. And
Do you think it's corrupting American children?
Well, I think any platform, any social media for kids under, I'd go as far as 16. It doesn't do it. It does more harm than good. Any of those things that distract kids from talking to each other or not just looking at their phone all the time, we need to prevent that.
And what about the freedom of speech argument that, they should have free speech, you shouldn't ban it?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, if we have basically a hostile foreign government using that, where do you draw the line? I'd rather draw it at free speech than giving all this data to our enemy. That's where I'm at.
Do you agree with the TikTok ban?
Yes.
Why?
I agree with the ban because I'm a teacher. Well, I'm not the ban initially, but like some of the things that the young people are doing is kind of, I feel like it's in a negative light.
What about the Chinese aspect of it?
Oh, well, with the as far as like information or something like that, yeah, I don't agree with people stealing our information. We do have to protect it. Just like the new thing with AI, we have to protect all our information. I don't agree with that.
And do you have TikTok?
I do have a TikTok. Yes, I do have a TikTok. I forgot my name, but yes, I have a TikTok.
So you're gonna miss it?
Not really, because I like Instagram better, actually, to be honest. But TikTok, I will say, my fiance has TikTok, and she is doing pretty good on there. With the ban, we're just gonna adjust. Then we're gonna bring, I think, another app. It's a room for opportunity for another app to grow and become even bigger than TikTok. Maybe like a US or home-based type platform, you know.
I think TikTok is kind of, people use the word brain rot. I know it's not really a professional word, but it seems like it's a lot of trends that are just negative for society in general. Like I remember when I was in high school several years ago, there was a trend of people on TikTok breaking soap off bathrooms and stealing it, and it just makes it inconvenient for everyone. So it just seems like it's a lot of bad social forces and influences to me.
What about the sort of freedom of speech aspect?
That's certainly a concern, but there are other alternatives. I guess not like they're banning the speech itself, they're just banning that particular platform because it has a particularly worrying algorithm. In my opinion, at least my understanding of it, people can still go to other platforms like Instagram or X, formerly Twitter, post things they want. They're not being prevented from doing that, in my reading.
Are you worried about the sort of Chinese data, stealing your data and so on?
I am. I'm not sure how accurate those claims are because I haven't personally done my own research. I've only seen things online, you know, which probably isn't a good idea. But if my understanding of it is correct and what people say is correct, it does seem concerning, the data concerns, but also so many American companies steal our data anyway. So it doesn't seem like such a big deal, but it is a concern to me, yes.
And have you got TikTok?
I do, yeah. Despite all that, yes, I do.
Are you going to miss it?
I'll miss some of it. Not all of it, but some of it for sure.
I don't feel like I have any strong feelings about it. I think that Reels is like the same thing as TikTok. Like I'm a Reels user, so I don't know.
And why don't you use TikTok?
Because I had it back in like during COVID time, and I was just spending like way too much time on my phone, and I feel like there's much better things to do with your time. But now I'm on Reels, but I don't spend as much time on Reels.
Are you worried about like the Chinese government stealing people's data, Americans' data and things like that?
I feel like all our data is already leaked everywhere. Like I feel like I'm constantly getting calls from spam numbers and like those weird texts that are saying that your stuff is lost at some warehouse. So it's already leaked, I think.
Do you agree with the TikTok ban?
I personally don't use TikTok, so I do not mind that it gets banned. Yeah.
What about the argument that it's about freedom of speech and people should be able to use whatever app they want to use and so on?
Yeah, definitely. I do understand the reason for that, security and all that. But I think people should be able to use the app if they want, share their data if they want to.
Why don't you use TikTok?
I'm a kind of YouTube Reel kind of guy. That's what I use. So it's not because of any of the reasons. It's just I don't personally use TikTok.
I mean, I feel like the reason is what China's like stealing U.S. data, but I feel like if the proper regulations are in place, that wouldn't be happening. Yeah. Or I feel like they should give more time to sell it.
Some people say that TikTok is corrupting children, the algorithm is really bad, brain rot and so on. What do you think about that?
I would say that, I mean, the algorithm kind of like feeds what you like, right? So, I mean, kids are being kids and they're just liking that sort of stuff, making that content themselves, and so that's what's coming up on their page. But I don't think the algorithm is like specifically targeted or like made to act like that. It just is because that's what people want. So.
Do you have TikTok?
I did for a while, but I deleted it because I was on it way too much. So.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want to watch more content, please subscribe to our new GBN America YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.